Yeah, thank you very much. The younger generation are like myself who wanted to be part of the African Union chairperson to actually change the African Union. I applied for that. But these neo-colonial states and neo-colonial governments could not even accept my letter in the first place. So I don't think even an attempt to change it from our side might be possible, because people like myself who either think of getting in to be the African Union chairperson and change this, they blocked me. But also, yes, it's a good conversation. The question should go further. Can we also abolish our countries that are neo-colonial setups, the so-called Kenya, Uganda, and the rest? Something we have to brainstorm.
In the memory of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Tristan Roberts, in the memory of Nat Turner, in the memory of Henry Sylvester Williams, in the memory of Rustem Mohammed, in the memory of Marcos Masaya Gavi, in the memory of Patrice Emery Lumumba, in the memory of Hugh Newton, in the memory of Martin Luther King, in the memory of Thomas Isidore Sankara, in the memory of Malcolm X, in the memory of Francis Kwame Nkrumah or Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in the memory of Fred Hampton, in the memory of Steve Biko, in the memory of Dr. John Hannah Clark, in the memory of Ahmed Seko Toure, in the memory of Yusuf bin Chanan, in the memory of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, in the memory of Runoko Rashid, in the memory of Walter Redney, in the memory of Dr. Abdul Khalid Muhammad, in the memory of Winnie Madikizela Mandela, in the memory of Steve Cochrane, in the memory of Kwame Ture, in the memory of Professor Tony Martin, in the memory of Dr. John Joseph Magufuli, in the memory of Kat G. Woodson. I greet you all, my fellow Pan-Africanists and my fellow Africanists. My name is Imani. I am not expert on anything except my life experience. So everything I'm going to be talking to you today is either based on what I have studied, what I have experienced in my life. I'm not expert on the topic I was called to talk about, but I have my personal views. And my personal views has nothing to do with I don't have any beef, or I don't have any personal problem with either African Union or the leadership of African Union or any other political party or group of people. Absolutely not. The only thing I'm here to present to you is what I believe to be intellectually facts that you can check. If you have any question, please, you will be able to present to me or to ask the question. Now, the question I was let me introduce myself, maybe those who don't know about me. I have got a chance to live in different countries. Tanzania, I lived in Tanzania. I lived in Burundi. I lived in Rwanda. I lived in Uganda. I lived in Kenya. And I lived around 14 years in the US. I graduated from US, so I lived there. I call almost my home. But outside of, I visited now a long time Senegal and South Africa. And now I'm living in Ethiopia for the past 4 years. So I think I have saw some of the things that maybe I can talk about. That's number one. Number two, my working experience, I have worked in the US more than 23 jobs. So I have pretty much good experience of cleaning, all of those kind of wrapping sandwiches. So those are the things I have done. I have done a lot of work in different areas. So I think that is also something you can know, because when you work there, you get a lot of experience as well to socialize and work with a lot of people from different countries. I'm a journalist in Kiswahili and of course English for the past 4 years on TV, and I prepare news, I write news, I read news and programs, sometimes even English, as I said. For my, I have 3 books, but there is one is coming up, the third one, which called Radicalized Pan-Africa. So most of the information I'm going to be sharing with you today is coming from the book Radicalized Pan-African. When it comes to languages, I'm able to speak Kiswahili, of course, and English, which I'm speaking now, and some Spanish and some French, enough to understand what someone is saying. For the languages, like here, there is local languages I hear here and there, but also some languages from Western Tanzania and Burundi and Rwanda, and of course Lingala a little bit, and Ugandan. So those are the languages I can speak. My education, I don't think it's matter, because I even regretted to have education. I found out I lost my time, so I don't really say that. But since 2020, I have been studying at home for my own, to just be able to educate myself. Now, I think that's pretty much what I want to say about myself. My professionalism is a freedom fighter. I'm a Swahili advocate globally and freedom fighter. I don't have any other professional. That's what I do all day long, all night long. Yeah, so that being said, I think that concludes about me. So if you guys, I don't think there's anyone who have questions for so far. Let me go to the really topic. When I present talk, I saw you guys seem like you don't, you're not comfortable to say African Union have to be closed. In fact, you change around or replaced and all of that kind of things. But because his opinion it has nothing to do with anything, it's just opinion. And in fact, as you can see me, I do not have a power to do anything like that, or you guys, you don't have it. So pretty much you just put there as opinion. But my topic was that Africa Union have to be closed. So now but also on the flyer, you guys, you add something very important, which I always love, which is Pan-Africa. Pan-Africa is something I'm going to have to start with in order to go towards Africa Union. So what is the Pan-Africa? Pan-Africa is the idea for Black people liberation by Black people. So that's all it means pretty much. So Pan-Africanism is only regard to Black people. Anyone who may plan to include other friends of Black people, it does not work like that. So well, here it is. What are the 3 principles of Pan-Africanism? Pan-Africa, what is the 3 principles? Those 3 principles are not the only ones for Pan-Africa, but they are the basic fundamental of Pan-Africanism. The first one is United States of Africa. You guys were talking about the unity of Africa. So not United States of Africa, there is no Pan-Africanism. There's no Pan-Africa at all. So that is principle number 1. Principle number 2 is Africa for Africans at home and abroad. The ownership of Africa must be equally to those who are at home and to those who are abroad, because Pan-Africa itself was started by people who were not in African continent. I think you guys, you can agree with me in most of that. Now, the last one is called race first. So race first is the number 3, which is the last one for the principles of Pan-Africanism. The other ones does not matter. When I say race first, it means that your race comes before your religion. Your race comes before your job. Your race comes before also called countries in Africa that were drawn on by pen by white people sitting in Europe, not even in Africa. Your race comes before your ethnics. We are blessed in Africa, by God bless us. We have more than 3,000 ethnics. So those ethnics does not come before your race. Your race comes first. And this I have to run in America. I thought maybe I was something different before my race, but I found out that the race comes first. Now, what is not Pan-Africanism? Because this is one of the things that plays a lot of people. When there is things that we may assume they are Pan-Africanists, but they are not. They are just, most of them, they are humanitarian things. For instance, anti-slavery is not Pan-Africanism. Is humanitarian, is the obligations of a human to another human. If anyone is enslaving anybody in this planet, you should stand up anywhere and fight for that. So anti-slavery is not Pan-African. In fact, most of people who fight against slavery were not even Black. Number 2, Colonization. Anti-colonization is not Pan-Africanism. It is not. It's just, as I said, humanitarian. It's the obligation of men to men. If someone is colonizing another one, you should stand up. For instance, if someone is colonizing South Korea or Philippines or another place, as me, as human, I must stand up and fight against that. So it has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism. So apartheid as well. Anti-apartheid is not make anyone a Pan-Africanist. It's just human obligation to another human. Also, Pan-Africanism is not communism or socialism. In fact, the book of Professor Tony Martin highlights, which is called Rest Fast, when he's talking about Dr. Marcos Garvey, he talked about communism and socialism from Russia. They fought against Marcos Garvey. So very much you need to understand that even though a lot of people we honor as heroes of Pan-Africanism, which they are, they were communism, some of them they are socialism, or whatever it is, but Pan-Africa is not communism, it's not socialism, but it's also not capitalism. It is Pan-Africa. That's all it is. It's nothing behind that or other side. But also, it's not Catholicism, it's not Christianity, it's not Hotep, it's not this people who believe in ancestors. You will hear that my ancestor helped me, this and that. It's not. Pan-Africa is not religion at all. All religions are inside Pan-Africa. Okay, Pan-Africa is not designated for one religion. And Pan-Africa is just the way of life to free ourselves. As the son of Marcos Garvey, his name is Justice Garvey, he said his father, Marcos Garvey, who I honor so much, he established Pan-Africanism, one, to bring the sense of belonging, to give belonging, a place of belonging to our fellow diaspora who are living outside of Africa. Because, as you know, we in Africa, we don't really know the pain they go through. So it was the place of sense of belonging. So that is why Pan-Africa has to be focusing on actually diaspora more than we in Africa on motherland. Now, from there, I think I finished with Pan-Africa. I want to come to Africa Union, which is the topic for today. Me personally, is my opinion, is not anyone here an opinion. I believe that Africa Union have to be closed. Africa Union does not need to be, we don't need to re-establish another institution, maybe to challenge it. It's not going to work. We're not going to reshape it, to kind of revive it. That is also not going to work. I will tell you the reasons why. We don't have, I hear some people saying that we need to remove the headquarters of Africa Union to other countries. I think you guys have heard about this. It's been around even the time of Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Meles Zenawi. They were debating about that when Gaddafi was still alive, that they need to remove the headquarters. He wants to remove that to Sirte somewhere in Libya, but that is absolutely meaningless. We don't need that either. I believe that Africa Union, in my opinion, need to be closed. Now, why is that? Why do I take a stand on that position? This is based on how Africa Union was established. I don't know if I can share, maybe I should share some slide, but if I can't, I will definitely read it for you guys. It's something you can go and search. That's why I'm trying to use intellectual debate here so that no one get lost. So Africa Union, someone is seem like it's a moving mouse. I don't even know. Yes.
You are free to share if you want to share anything via screen.
Okay. So okay. How do you share that? I think is you shared on the web. New border existed. What border? Notes. I don't know how to share that. Anyways, so the first thing we're gonna go through, I believe we should look the Constitution of Africa Union, because let me see. Open what border now? How do you share on
Okay.
Yeah, where do you go to? Yeah.
You can proceed.
Anyways,
with
I don't let me leave this alone.
Okay.
Yes, let me leave that alone. Yeah, so let's start with the Constitution of Africa Union, or Organization of Unity of Africa, which I hope you guys can find it. If you put on your desktop, your computer.
Which constitution are you referring to? OAU or AU?
It's called a constitutional constitutive act of the Africa Union.
Okay.
So
let me look at
yeah,
I'll share it.
Yeah. So it's on PDF. You can find that. It's on my screen now. I can show you where you can see that. Very good. Yeah. So where do we go to?
Is it this one, brother?
Yeah, it's that one there. Yeah, okay. It is that one there. So go down on article number 3. Article number 3, which is supposed to be, it's gonna be followed by article. Go down. Article number 3 is supposed to be on
this one. The objectives.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, article number 3. Yeah, the objectives. Very good. So objective. Line number 1. A. Achieve great unity and solidarity between the African countries and the people of Africa. So the solidarity, there is here unity and solidarity between the people of Africa. Now, if you go down to promote and defend African common position, accelerating political and economic and integration of the continent. Number C. Number B. No, read number B. Number B. Defend the sovereignty, territory, integrity, and independence of its members. So defend sovereignty and territory integrity of its members. If you can go down to article number 4, can you go down, please? Article number 4. Article number 4. Line number B. Respect of the borders existed on the achievement of independence. We are talking about the unity of Africa. How do you defend or respect the border existed on achievement of independence? How do you do that? Because this constitution itself, in order for African to work anything, it has to be removed. Why? For instance, let me give you a quick example. I hope you guys know about this, but if you don't know, I'm gonna go over that for you. The country Somalia, today we know, as we know it's today. Somalia, if you're gonna give the sovereignty of a member of the state based on how you existed as the colonizers left it, you're gonna have to give Somalia 3 countries. The Somalia colonized by Italy, the Somalia colonized by England or British, the Somalia colonized by not colonized because it's called Agadon, which is on a part of Ethiopia. So Somalia will have to be divided in 3 countries. Okay, so for that reason, if you talk about the unity of Africa in that aspect, you definitely have to give more countries in Africa independence than bringing unity. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. The Constitution of African Union promotes the line drawn on map of Africa by white folks sitting in Europe, not in Africa, that they are here to protect those lines, which we were talking about in South Africa. Someone was talking about it. We cannot afford that. And that for that reason, that's one of the reasons why African Union have to be closed. Why? As long as African Union still exists, we fight. Instead, we're gonna be divided. For instance, for example, since African Union was established, because of that constitution, Ethiopia gets separated with Somalia. No, with Eritrea. You know about that. I believe 93. South Sudan is being divided. Somalia itself, I was talking about, is now divided in 3 countries, but there is one. It's called Somaliland. It's called Somaliland that have passport, that have currency, that have parliament, that have it can offer visa. Almost it has its own airport and the leadership. Everything is just Somaliland. It's almost independent country. So instead, African Union to bring us to the unity.
Money? Brother Money,
When you look,
proceed.
yeah. So when you look on,
Just
so
proceed.
when you look, yes, thank you. So when you look on the other things about African Union that we should definitely be able to, that the reason why we should close it is the fact that African Union have completely failed for any aspect of since it was established. By the way, who established African Union? Because that's another thing that a lot of people do not know. African Union was not established by Africans. It was established by France and the colonizers. If you don't know who is it, General Charles de Gaulle. General Charles de Gaulle. He's the one who was instrumental to establish African Union, which was the Organization of the Unity of Africa back in 1963. Now, how did he do that? Pretty much it was established by what we call jealousy, or here in America they say kanat, or in Swahili is wivu. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he had the idea or vision of uniting fully Africa. You can exit that, by the way, the constitution, no problem. I think I finished with it. So he had the plan to unite Africa. That was his plan he had. But the Western, because they did not like the idea, they did not want the view, they decided to actually establish what they called Casablanca Group, Monrovia Group, which I think a lot of you guys, you are aware of that. But there is something you don't know about the Monrovia Group. One, the Western, especially the United States and the British, they went to William Tubman, who was the president of Liberia. By the way, Liberia country has been a disaster for Black people. From when it was established until today, Liberia country has been nothing more than to just betray us. So they went to Mr. William Tubman, and then they told him, like, you have to stop this idea of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to actually bring the United States of Africa together. And then Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, William Tubman, he actually went to Felix de Bouffanye of Ivory Coast, who believed that he was not even Ivory Coastian, he was a France or French, whatever it is. And then he went to Leopold Senghor, who France has already given a white woman or white wife. And then after that, they went to Haile Selassie. I don't even know why a lot of people praise Haile Selassie, who France and England have helped him to actually fight against the second Ethiopian nation in 1930. So Haile Selassie has already on the favor to the Western, who helped him to fight against Italy. So when they sit together, they decide to establish something called the Monrovia Bloc. But it was just based on to fight against the Casablanca Bloc, which I hope each one of us for now you already know about that. So now when Haile Selassie called the meeting in 1963, they already have decided to just now unite, okay, to just come up with something that with the France putting a lot of money inside behind the French colonized countries, that they're gonna create something, but not the true unity. And they call that progressive unity or progressive, whatever you call it. I don't even know. It's meaningless, as you already see that on the ground. Obviously, we're not judging anything based on the theory or anything. We judge things based on how average person from Gambia or from Central African Republic feel about African Union or about his liberation, about his economic well-being, about his medical well-being, his education. A lot of people cannot even find food to eat. So anyways, from there, African Union was established. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, which I have in my hand, his speech. Also, you can find that the speech of creation of on unity of Organization of Unity of Africa in a PDF. If you can find that, please for me, I would be happy for you to find that, because there is a couple of things I want to read there in short, very quickly. The speeches of establishment of Unity of Africa. Please, can you upload that for me on page 52? Yeah, I believe it's page 52. Can you pull that up? I have that in my hand, but I can definitely, you can also pull that up so people can read it. So when the Organization of Unity of Africa was established, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, very angry, actually. A lot of people who say Dr. Kwame Nkrumah established African Union. It's absolutely not. He did not establish that. He was very angry, and he told them, I'm going to read what he just said. We must also decide on the location where this body, office, and experts, I'm on page 52, and experts will work. The new headquarters of capital of Union government, some central place in Africa may be the fairest suggestion, neither at Bangui or Central African Republic or Leopoldville in Congo. My colleagues, may I have other proposal? The community of foreign ministers, officials, and experts should be empowered to establish a commission to frame a constitution for the Union government of African states, a commission to work out of continents-wide plan for unify a common economic and industrial program for Africa. This plan should include proposal for setting up a common market for Africa. You hear me? A common market for Africa. B, a African currency, one currency. C, African monetary zone. D, a African central bank. E, a continental commission system. Those are what, sorry, excuse me. This is what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah very angry said. He said that we need all these things he just mentioned. But he ended by saying that if you guys, you do not listen to me, this is something always people don't want to mention when we are talking about Pan-Africanism and the African Union. If you don't want to listen to me, this is what's going to happen to us. This is what's going to happen. One, the neocolonialism is coming back. It's going to emphasize in our ethnic differences. It's also on this speech as well. It's going to emphasize on our different ethnic differences. It's going to come back. And he say, I will not see that. I will not be here. They will remove all of us. And you too, you will not say it. Guess what? Do you know the speech of Haile Selassie, the Emperor Haile Selassie respond? He did not listen to him. Not only him. No one listened to him. Nobody, I was reading all those speeches. Nobody listened to him. And guess what? It happened to us. Now we are living in Ethiopia. There is no peace. We are in Congo. We don't have peace. In Chad, there is no peace. Let me talk about this too. In 2021, if I'm not mistaken, you guys, you can check facts on me. The president of Chad was assassinated. And Moussa Faki, who is the chairman of African Union even today, he's from Chad, but he can't say anything about it. He can't do anything about it. Because African Union is powerless. Let me tell you the fact. African Union has no power. The power of African Union is less than the power of Eswatini. The power of African Union is less than the power of Djibouti, which has a population of less than 1 million. Okay, Djibouti have less than 1 million. So why will you have a institution that has no power for whatsoever to operate or to do anything? Nothing African Union can do. Some people debate that if we give money to African Union, it's gonna operate. No, the foundation is wrong. First of all, it was established by the jealous of people, the Western, to destroy the unity of Africa. So anytime you establish, you build, you trying to change anything inside African Union, does not work. President Muammar Gaddafi, I tried to find my research. I can't find him to be black, so most of the time I don't mess with people who are not black, but he did very good for Africa, so I have to recognize that. He tried to change it with all his resources, and he could not. Paul Kagame tried of Rwanda, he cannot. You cannot change how African Union operate, absolutely not, because the constitution is wrong, the foundation is wrong, it's based on sovereignty, supremacy of the country's members. Each member is sovereignty, and it has its supremacy. It can operate on any level. Nobody can say anything about it because African Union has no power on any country. Let me give you another small country, for instance. The Gambia. The country is almost like miracle country. You guys, maybe someone is from West Africa, you know this. Gambia is one family of people, the tribes or the ethnics that are found in Senegal, and also the same tribes found in the Gambia. Gambia is inside Senegal, just as the Gambian river goes, so that the country goes. But the Gambian country can decide on anything against African Union, and it will be proved because the Constitution of African Union is absolutely give that power to the Gambian country. Any country in Africa, you think of. Why? Because, for instance, now they are talking inside the Agenda 2063, which I will recover a little bit. There is what they call African Continental Free Trade Area, which sounds very good, by the way, but that cannot work. Why? Because any country in Africa, either small or big, it does not see its self-interest as a sovereignty country. It can say, no, I don't want to deal with this. And no one can say anything about it. So it can decide. If, for instance, that small country, Eswatini, no, let me use Burundi, for instance. Burundi is a small country in Central East Africa, If Burundi say African Continental Free Trade, deal with African Continental Free Trade Area because I do not have any best interest for me. It does not have any best interest for me. It can just say I'm not going to be part of it because the Constitution of African Union gave power to the country Burundi. So now, finishing up, let me go. Can you pull up Agenda 63 in PDF, please? Because there is some of the things I want to prove here. Why African Union should be closed. But before I go even there, also while you are uploading that, in Abidjan agreements, Africa Union, when it changed, when the Organization of Unity of Africa changed name from that name to Africa Union, he was saying that by 2023, I believe, we're supposed to have one currency. Okay, that was what he was saying in Abidjan agreement. I think you guys, you can check that out on your own time. But we did not have it. African Union under African Union Watch, the terrorism has become absolutely insanity almost everywhere in Africa. You guys, you are living that, you know that. If you haven't lose anyone in those terrorism, go down to article number Agenda 63, aspiration number 4. Aspiration number 4 and the line 32. Line 32, aspiration number 4, line 32. Okay, so now, you guys, you see, I was talking about the terrorism. Terrorism is everywhere. And you guys, you know how the coups are in every corner of Africa. You can control and found, you search just aspiration number 4, and you're gonna find aspiration number 4, line number 32. If you can find it, hopefully you are right here, document. But I can read it that. If you guys you can find it, I can read that for you. Aspiration number 4 on Agenda 63, which has already failed. I'm talking about things that has already failed. Mechanism, peaceful and secure Africa. So, this is even a joke. But anyways, so 32. Mechanism for peaceful prevention and solution for conflicts will be function at all levels. As a first step, dialogue-centered conflict prevention and resolution will be active, promoted in such a way that by 2020, 4 years ago, all guns will be silenced in Africa. Let's stick with that, first of all. Did you guys ask your leaders last time they come for Africa Union Summit about this? Because by 2020, we're supposed to have no guns in Africa. Do we really silence guns in Africa? Can you guys prove that to be even little working? Let me tell you the truth. There is guns in Mozambique. There is guns in Eastern Congo. There is guns in Chad. There is guns in Ethiopia. There is guns in Somalia. There is guns in Sudan. There is guns in Chad. There is guns almost every corner of the continent. There is guns. Now, why is that the case? Because African Union is not functioning right. It cannot function right, in fact. Not only does not function right, it cannot even function right. Because this terrorism that is taking over even the countries that has not have those thank you for putting that up. Thank you so much, so that people can see that and prove it, because it's already there. So I'm not making up stuff here. The reason is because who is bringing those guns? Africa, we don't make any gun. We don't. Who is bringing those guns then? It's not these military bases that are everywhere. Kenya is having more than the one we have. Djibouti has, 90 maybe military bases, foreign military bases. Each country in Africa, Ghana has some, and everywhere there is military bases, foreign military bases. And the African Union can't do anything about that. That's number one. Number two, the change of constitution. The coups are coming, they are results of the change of constitution. The leaders are sitting in power forever, they don't want to leave. So at the end of the day, you found people are doing the coups. So African Union can't do anything about that. The terrorism, I already talked about that. African Union can handle those because absolutely has no power to do that. What is our economic struggles? Our currencies are being devaluated, and African Union can't do anything about it. So we do not need any institution that does not promote United States of Africa. As I started, that's where I'm gonna end. United States of Africa is a must. If African Union cannot give us the destruction completely of removal of the borders, so-called borders, and in fact made by white people sitting in Europe, African Union, we don't need it. So the unity of Africa, we don't need to. If Nigeria want to unite with Togo or Benin, we don't need African Union for that. If Kenya want to unite with Tanzania, we don't need the African Union. So that being said, I think that's why I'm going to end my presentation. But
yeah, thank you very much. The younger generation, like myself, who wanted to be part of the African Union chairperson to actually change the African Union. I applied for that. But these neo-colonial states and neo-colonial governments could not even accept my letter in the first place. So I don't think even an attempt to change it from our side might be possible, because people like myself who either think of getting in to be the African Union chairperson and change this, they blocked me. But also, yes, it's a good conversation. The question should go further. Can we also abolish our countries that are neo-colonial setups, the so-called Kenya, Uganda, and the rest? Something we have to brainstorm.